Ergonomics, or ergos for short, is simply setting the bike up so you feel comfortable on it. Now the good news is, if you are a humpbacked short ass, chances are the DR650 will be close to perfect, as long as you have a metallic ass to cope with that terrible piece of concrete they call a seat. The DR650 is already quite low, but you can lower it further. The easy way to lower the DR650 is simply change one of the linkage bolts to another hole for the rear end, then slide the forks up through the triple clamps as well. However, if you are really short, for maximum lowering, just pause and have a read of this information, courtesy of Little Steve on the ADV Rider forum. If you are incredibly short, you can also get aftermarket seats that go lower than the stock seat. One thing to keep in mind is if you ride the DR650 aggressively, the bike can bottom out already when jumping the bike. So if you lower it, then of course it's going to ground out even more often. But hopefully you are sensible and don't jump your bush pig, unlike some idiots we know. Okay, so the big problem with the ergonomics of the DR is when you are tall. For most of us, the triangle formed by the handlebars, seat and foot pegs is simply too small. It feels very cramped, especially when standing on the foot pegs. So let's start with the foot pegs. These are ridiculously high and not far back enough for most of us. The cheapest and most common solution here is foot peg lowering plates, like these ones from Windscreens motorcycles. A simple bolt-on solution that pushes the stock foot pegs down and back to get more room on the DR650. Remember, if you are a nut who jumps the DR650, these plates hang below the frame and will hit the ground. However, they are tough and can take the impact. A new product on the market is these brilliant low peg mounts from Wire EDM. The first type of mount just lowers the pegs. The second type lowers them but also moves the foot pegs back for taller riders. Then you simply bolt the original stock pegs on and off you go. You can buy these directly from Wire EDM or buy them through ProCycle. Remember, if you do move your foot pegs to the rear but have small feet, you may have trouble reaching the gear shift and rear brake pedal. But generally, taller riders have big feet, so this shouldn't become an issue in most cases. So if you aren't too tall, you can also opt for ProCycle's lowered foot pegs kit for US $149. These only lower the pegs, but don't move them to the rear. The foot pegs themselves are bigger than the stock ones, which is very handy, especially if you've got larger feet. There are all sorts of different foot pegs available. Personally, I've fallen in love with Fastway's Adventure foot pegs. Mates of mine have these on their KTM 950s and simply rave about them. They come with a range of different sized cleats to fit and provide an incredibly roomy, secure feel for your boots. The much larger surface also means you don't chew out your boot soles as quickly. A win-win situation all round, in my book. The handlebars. These ridiculous bar mounts angle back towards the rider for God knows what reason, Mr. Suzuki. So, if you try to fit bar risers, you just make things worse because they push the bars even further back towards you. Stupid. Many of us find the perfect solution are the rocks pivoting risers. I opted for the big 2-inch risers due to being 6 foot 4 inches tall. The best thing? You just pivot these to where they feel right, Then you can also adjust your bars to suit as well. If you are an older rider and find your upper body is getting beaten up nowadays, flexible handlebars can be worth looking at too. The flex bars work well for adventure riding on the softer setting. There are also the twisted engineering bars, which currently are more for dirt bikes. However, they will soon be bringing out a more flexible 4x version that will suit adventure bikes too. The seat. What the hell was Suzuki thinking? It's not a bloody motocross bike. I've been extremely happy with the ProCycle seat, foam and cover kit for only US $119. It's much softer than the stock lump of concrete. Wider, a bit lower, more grip, and a higher section for your pillion passenger to get a better view over your shoulder. Perfect. There are other seats out there. Have a look at Seat Concepts, Corbin, Sargent, and the Moose Adventure Saddle. If you are on a very tight budget, look at the Sit and Fly net seat cover for only US $29. Or if you're on a super budget and are very tall, you can always just cut some upholstery foam and staple some black vinyl over the existing seat. I did this on my last DR650. It was butt ugly, but so comfortable. What else? If you have small hands, then Warp 9 do adjustable levers for the DR650, so you can reach the clutch and front brake levers. Unfortunately, Steg Pegz don't make anything for the DR650 yet. If you like to stand a lot when riding, then these are the duck's nuts for taking all the pressure off your upper body, arms and hands. Great for us older riders. Just cut up some alloy plate, bolt on some door stops, then bolt them to your rear foot peg mounts. Heaven on a stick. Fairings. These start at around $100, like this one I got from Adventure Bike Australia. But if you like the do-it-yourself approach, just Google the DR650 $6 windscreen mod. You'll find the template for just cutting up a plastic trash can, bend it a bit, and voila, a beautiful homemade windscreen. And that's about it, guys, for making the DR650 fit your weirdly shaped body. Got any further tips? Let me know. I'll put them in here. Have fun riding.